On the mat, host tonight, Barry Holland, along with pro wrestling personality and expert, Steve Rickard. Well, hi everybody, and welcome to the new season of On the Mat. Oh, nice to have you back with us. Our producer's been really busy over the festive season, getting new titles ready there. Hope you like those. They looked rather spectacular, didn't they? We have to say, first of all, starting off this new season, we haven't got Steve with us tonight, mainly because of transport problems, fog closing airports, things like that. So I have here with me at the commentary spot tonight, Mark Lewin, all the way back after a very, very busy last few months performing live to audiences, mainly in the Pacific region. Right, Mark? Welcome back.
Yeah, I've been into Hawaii and over to the mainland, Los Angeles, and areas like that. And Steve has been with me over there, and we've just been training and getting ready for the world champion who arrives here this Thursday night here in Auckland. In fact, he'll be in earlier in the day and getting prepared for the big championship match that night. There's so many tremendous wrestlers this season, Barry, but I guess we can get back to that as soon as we get rolling. There's plenty of action, eh?
Right, I think, first of all, as you've mentioned, the world champion Ric Flair. Here's an interview recorded just a little while ago in America.
It seems that just as America has tried to grasp Ric Flair, now every country in the world wants a piece of the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. So in the very near future, I've made it possible. I've allowed time in my schedule. That a promotion over there has offered me fabulous amounts of money. And as we all know, J.J., Ric Flair thrives on money and cars and all the finer things in life that only being the world heavyweight champion can afford them.
You know, Rick, going to New Zealand, I had the privilege of being there a couple of years ago, not only one of the most beautiful countries in the world, but the caliber of wrestling competition has brought forth some of the current top contenders for your world heavyweight title. I'm talking about Ron Miller, who's the greatest athlete, the greatest wrestler certainly ever to come out of Australia. Mark Lewin, who is no stranger to you. You've seen him in the Orient, and he probably knows you better than any other wrestler in the world. He's in the greatest shape of his life. The young Samoan, Steve Aoki, who Steve Rickard broke into professional ranks, has become an international star in his own right. And, of course, Steve Rickard, New Zealand's own Steve Rickard, he's high on everybody's list of top contenders.
Well, let's look at it like this, J.J. You're an authority on New Zealand. I never have been there. But I'm looking forward to the opportunity. And one of the main things that makes Ric Flair go round and round is the top competition that he has to face day in and day out. New Zealand, as I said earlier, is going to pay me a lot of money. So I expect to wrestle the toughest competition they have. Mark Lewin, as you said, a tremendous athlete, a tremendous competitor, and certainly in line for a title shot. Steve Rickard, Ron Miller, Steve Aoki, all great names and recognized in their professional ranks as men that deserve a title shot. So New Zealand, let's look at it realistically. You're going to have an opportunity to see the greatest athlete in professional sports today, the one and only Ric Flair.
Well, our audience here is waiting patiently for tonight's program. I'll bet them, along with the rest of the people in the Pacific region, will be awaiting the arrival of Ric Flair, and we'll feature him here, of course, On the Map. But he does arrive in New Zealand this very week, so watch out for the world champion Ric Flair. But now let's take a look at the power of the world champion Ric Flair in action.
NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair in the ring now, and Flair objecting apparently about something in the center of the ring now, but now removing his robe. And there you see it around his waist, the $10,000 solid gold and diamond and studded belt representing the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Flair in the green, going up against David Jones. Now, Jones has a reputation of a very, very rugged, fast-moving youngster who has a pretty impressive win record going for him. Quick hip-lock takedown by the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Flair. Flair, of course, as you have seen in the past and as we've discussed in the past, is a man who always travels first class. He's a jet setter. He was born and raised in a jet-set environment. Had just about everything that you could ask for, but also has within him that tremendous desire to become the very, very greatest in his sport, and that exactly is what he has done. He has become the NWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion. He was sought after by many universities after an outstanding high school career, private school, I might add. Finally chose one of the great schools, the University of Minnesota, out of the Big Ten. Was noted there in wrestling and in football. Flair with a chop that you could hear all the way across the television sports arena, and Jones is stunned by that when Jones smashed into that turnbuckle, and a lot of starch taken out of Jones at that point. A snap mare that takes him back to the canvas once again. Flair, a consummate athlete, and is not a man who will expend any useless energy. He is a brilliant strategist in the ring. Will oftentimes vary his attack, and going after a man will maybe start attacking a leg and then suddenly switch to the midsection. All of a sudden he'll become a headhunter. It all depends on where he feels he has the best opportunity to make an inroad into his opponent. And Jones, he found here that swift, stunning blow into the throat and into the chest. And he caught him again with an elbow, and of course he already has the man hurt in that area. So consequently, and Flair just hurdles him outside the ring, and it was Jones catching the steel rail on the ring apron and coming up rather slowly. And again, of course, Flair taking his toll on the man from any direction that he sees. And again, that solid sound of that forearm crashing against the chest of David Jones. Flair snapmares him back into the ring. Flair has quickly developed a tremendous reputation as being a fighting champion, and he has very quickly also realized that beautiful abdominal stretch, standing guillotine, abdominal stretch, moves it into a lateral. He was able to roll that shoulder off, and my credit goes to Jones here. He was able to roll out of that guillotine. And that is a difficult task indeed. Anybody who can escape from that is certainly moving well. But there, Flair brings him up. Vertical suplex. And Jones in a lot of trouble now as Flair methodically comes down across his chest. And that's, of course, where he scored the initial impact, stunned his man with a spinning toe hold right into the figure four, coming from the opposite side on the figure four.
Well, that poor guy got the treatment, but that's the work of a champion. The NWA World Champion, Ric Flair, will be here in New Zealand this week, and just one of the many stars that we have out here in on the mat, featuring on the mat for this year. And along with Ric Flair, we've got people like Roy Starr from the USA and Lars Anderson who'll be featuring here tonight. And also we've got Tommy Cheung and Jumping Joe Andrews from Samoa here tonight, along with Man Mountain. But just before we do go to the first bout on tonight's program, let's go to ringside because Mark Lewin has a very special guest with us tonight.
Well, I'd like to welcome High Chief Peter Maivia's wife, Mrs. Peter Maivia. Thank you for coming. I know that you're busy with your promotion in Hawaii, and that Steve and, well, I guess it's no secret to anyone here, the connection between Peter, Steve, and I, and your whole family. So welcome here, and I hope you'll be able to sign whoever is the next world champion, or if it, by looking at Ric Flair on the tape, you can see that he's a worthy champion. So I'd like you just to feel at ease and at home here, because this is your home, and talk to all of our Samoan fans, okay, Leah?
Thank you very much.
Okay, sister, please.
Thank you. Patulo natu le pa ia le tunu Samoa mon tulang fa lupe lupeina fa pe fo itunga se ngainga. ole nei tūla, o tau nuu mai ai, ona ole wha moenga mo le stofi, o le siampini, o le tunga le a Mark Lewin, mo le siampini o Ric Flair, Samoa, o le whainga woa, whanene, Pira Maivia, ma Mark Lewin, Steve Rickard, o le walevan whaila tau whainga woa, o le salo tau manatua le 1979, pi inga Harley Racing Pira Maivia sa whai inel siampini, o lona lua lalvei, wa toe whai inei i sila, o lea, wa peifo en tau sila fia, o le tā alonga le nei a whanene, Pira Maivia, o le nei wa o tau mwhaia, ma ua o promotinga pi ina i Hawaii, whaapea ma le tunga Steve Rickard, Samoa, whaamoe lea tua, o le tātou supporti na whaatasi, ia Mark Ruin, i lea aso il pole stofi, i le wairene.
There we leave Mrs. Maivia. Nice to see her tonight with us in our first program and On the Map. We're broadcasting tonight from the YMCA Stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. And let's go to the first bout on tonight's program and to our affable ring announcer, Max Cryer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2 versus 1 match. In the blue corner, direct from the USA, it's the Man Mountain. And the Man Mountain's 2 opponents in the red corner, from Samoa, it's Tommy Cheung and Jumping Joe Andrews. Your referee is Mr. Jack Kendall.
Well, there's a great start. Man Mountain straight into Jumping Joe Andrews of Samoa. Let's look at this Man Mountain. First time we've seen him here, and you said, oh, this will be nothing. Oh.
Wow, did you see
I can
that?
feel that, Mark. Goodness me, do you know much about this Man Mountain?
Well, I don't, but that's I think one of the fastest falls I've ever seen on New Zealand television. Plus, seeing an impressive win by the champion, Ric Flair, which I was very happy to see that Mrs. Maivia was here. She's a friend of all of the wrestling business. Oh, what a splash by Man Mountain. 3. He's gotten both
Another
of
one.
them.
That's incredible, Mark.
That's an impressive win. Over 400 pounds. I don't know what that would be in stones, but it was tremendous.
Well, Man Mountain making no race of our first bout here tonight. Tommy Cheung and also Jumping Joe Andrews from Samoa. Well, it looks like they've got themselves on their feet anyway. They're out of the ring, so a win to Man Mountain. Rather short one to start the evening. But just before we do go for our break here, you haven't been up against Ric Flair yourself, Mark.
No, I've seen him wrestle all over the United States and Asia and all, and I've never had the opportunity because I've always been traveling in the Far East mainly, and he's mainly, this is really his main time down here, and he's demanding such tremendous fees. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to wrestling him, that's for sure.
I'll bet you are too. Right, we'll be back with more action and On the Mat right after this break. Welcome back, everybody, to On the Mat. And just before we go to our second bout on tonight's program, we have another personality to introduce to you from the United States of America, Lars Anderson. Now, he's apparently from the very famous wrestling family, the Anderson family. Is that right, Mark?
Well, that's correct. As you know, I have 2 brothers that wrestle, too, my brother Ted and my brother Don, but the Anderson brothers certainly have an international reputation, and the fellows that he's going to be interviewing are the tops in the world in tag team. They are the world tag team champions, and the one fellow, the big one, that's so tremendous. He's a great power lifter in his own country, so I'd say just take a good look at him. Huh?
Right, let's go and hear now from Lars Anderson.
For those of you that know about world-class wrestling, of course you know who I am. The name is Lars Anderson with my brothers Gene and Ole. We've held the World Tag Team Championships on several occasions, and it's championship time here in New Zealand. That's right. Lars Anderson is here. Ric Flair is on the way. Mark Lewin is here. And standing with me, I take great pleasure to introduce the World Tag Team Champions, the Mongols. They have signed matches. They have signed open contracts with anyone that wants to step in the ring with them to prove to the people of New Zealand
what World Championship Wrestling is all about. These men are the Mongolian World Power Lift Champions. That's right, World Power Lift Champions, the strongest men in the world. As their manager, Ripper Collins, told you several weeks ago, they are here for one thing and one thing alone, that is to annihilate their opponents, destroy people in the ring. That's right, destroy people in the ring. The people of New Zealand have never seen the caliber of wrestling. Oh, they've seen Mark Loon, they've seen Curtis Iakea, they've seen him, that's right. But now Ric Flair's on the way, and Lars Anderson is here, and the Mongols, the World Tag Team Champions, are here. Yes, world-class wrestling has arrived in New Zealand.
Lars Anderson, well, he'll get into the ring now, and the two Mongols, of course, we'll be seeing them in future programs in On the Mat. We know of their power. We'll be able to see some of their technique in those programs coming up. But now let's go for our second bout tonight, and to ring announcer Max Cryer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a heavyweight match. In the red corner, direct from the USA, it's Mr. Roy Starr. And in the blue corner, also direct from the USA, Lars Anderson.
Hey, Mike, that guy reminds me...
Jack Kendall.
That guy reminds me of Kenny Rogers.
Yes, he does look like Kenny Rogers.
Right.
He certainly got the crowd in an uproar, and his connection with the Mongols, you can see, makes an impressive threesome.
Yeah, because he's got great presence in the ring. You notice that already.
Ron Starr is quite an up-and-coming athlete, too. He gives him an arm whip into the ropes and a solid knee into the stomach. Does the same thing again, which is a unique way of keeping your man in tight contact. Side headlock, a good bash to the side of the forehead, and Lars Anderson taking over on Roy Starr.
Well, Lars has really taken the fight to him, to Roy Starr. Well, what can you tell us about Roy Starr?
Well, Roy, I've seen him in Hawaii, and he was wrestling between Hawaii and the Los Angeles area. He's also made a trip to the Orient, so he's an up-and-coming young wrestler. Of course, the Anderson brothers are world-known. They've wrestled all over Japan, everywhere. In fact, I believe that Lars and his brother Oli were on tour in Japan when there was a title change between Ric Flair and How to Race, when Flair beat Race.
Well, it says Roy Starr's got given back to Lars Anderson a bit of his own treatment here. And Lars just asking for a bit of time to get his senses back, his thoughts back. Whether Roy Starr's going to give him that time or not. Oh, nice work.
And a drop kick. Sets Lars Anderson going. Whoop. A little careless there. Oh, a powerful arm drop. A powerful arm drop. When he comes up for the second one, Roy Starr definitely in trouble. Wow, that's the first fall in this duration match taken by the famous Lars Anderson.
Well, that's already in this bout, we've seen some things happen that haven't happened on the mat for a long time. Some powerful stuff there from Lars Anderson.
How about that Man Mountain Link? Wasn't he something?
Wasn't he something again? Was he what?
I tell you, he's bigger than Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, Mark, don't you get yourself underneath him anytime. Oh, lovely.
Good move, but around Roy Starr. Lars Anderson now seemed to be a little bit of trouble himself.
Well, that's right. We see some good work, and have seen some good work from Lars Anderson. But this Roy Starr is no mug at all. Oh, hard into the turnbuckle.
See referee Jack Kendall on the spot there, watching for anything that might cause Lars Anderson to be disqualified. A good strong side headlock from Roy Starr. And
well, I think the crowd loved every minute of that, of Roy Starr getting stuck into Lars Anderson. And he seems to have the upper hand here at the moment. Roy Starr, the upper hand over Lars Anderson to the stage. I think the crowd's really taken to Roy Starr. Both of them got good presence here, and the younger Roy Starr doing so well against this member of the world-renowned Anderson family. Lars Anderson nicely out of that one. Now it's his turn to get the upper hand. Nicely to the canvas. There's the bell. There's the bell at the end, and a win to Lars Anderson. Lars Anderson of the USA wins over Roy Starr of the USA, and we saw some great technique there from both these wrestlers. In fact, Lars Anderson getting off to a far better start, but Roy Starr coming back and doing some nice work and doing some nice countering to get out of those breaks. And he went over the head one time and then landing on his feet. That was lovely to watch. And then coming back and the head going down onto the thighs. So that he took Lars Anderson there in that side headlock, and some nice work there the crowd just loved. Now, before we leave you tonight, let's go to ringside, and Mark Lewin has got two other very special guests we'll be featuring in On the Mat.
Well, welcome to New Zealand, Susan. I see you have your championship belt, women's championship belt, which you won in Japan. How's it feel to be part of a big card with Ric Flair and the Mongols and Lars Anderson? Everybody's here. I think that you flew in from Texas yourself, and you also wrestled in Samoa, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's good to be here in New Zealand, and the trip in Samoa was great and all. But this card that's coming up with Flair and the Mongols, it's going to be one of the best ones to be on.
Well, thanks a million for attending this big championship, hosted championship cards. Also, the other girl wrestler that's here is Peggy Anderson. No relation to Lars Anderson, is it?
No, it's Peggy Patterson.
I see. Excuse me. So how do you feel that you'll go against the champion here?
Well, since it's my first time here in New Zealand, I really would like to take the belt home with me, and I'm going to do everything in my power to do it.
Well, I'd say that you've done enough to create a good image of yourself, and good luck in your championship match. I just see that Steve Rickard has entered the building. He's been having a little bit of transport problem coming here. Come on in here, Steve, because you're going to go against the champion. Come on in here and say something.
Well, great to be back in New Zealand. I'll be right there for my championship match against Ric Flair. I'm going to be there really trying to win. I'm sure when Mark gets his challenge he is. We're fortunate enough to be the two selected to wrestle the champion in this country, along with Siva Arfi, who was unable to make it. However, Mark and I will try and represent New Zealand to our very best. Thank you.
Okay, so
Well,
I'd just like to say good night.
It's got to be really something, let alone the other action we've got for you. Well, there's some of the stars and just a piece of the wrestling action we have for you in this series of On the Mat. That's all we've got time for tonight, though. On behalf of Mark Lewin, Barry Holland, say good night, everybody, and be sure and join us next week in On the Mat.